Mr. Mrs Pacman, powered on, does nothing. And it does nothing because this fuse, the main line fuse, is blown. The reason that's blown is because the MOV, the metal oxide resistor right there, which goes across the RF filter right here, has just totally disintegrated. That usually happens from a lightning strike, though sometimes it can just happen because MOVs do give up every now and then after so many power-ons. So I've got a new MOV. We could actually, with the MOV removed, power it on without it, but the whole point of this is it's a surge suppressor. If it sees voltage go above 130 volts coming from the wall, it immediately shorts. That immediately shorting causes the line fuse or the breaker to blow, which shuts the game down and protects it from a lightning strike or over voltage of some sort. New MOV installed. This one just happens to be a blue one. And a new line fuse installed. Powered on for the first time. Hopefully nothing was damaged in the overload. And it should power on unless something else is smoked. We'll just kind of keep an eye on it right here. Okay, no smoke. That's also a good sign. Okay, so we're booted, but we got score display problem. Obviously, with that display, we need to take care of that. But it is running. Got the displays all working. I switched the display to the fourth player just because it was easier to work on closer to the edge. But what you can see what I can do here, let me turn the game off so I don't short anything, because that would be bad. I don't want to short stuff out. Replace this chip right here, which is a CMOS 4543. Very common for these to go bad, and that's what was causing that erratic display behavior. So now with that chip replaced, displays are good to go. Now I'm going to do some other standard upgrades up here. I have my standard upgrades. I like to tie the test points together and make sure I have no crack solder joints on the Sony driver board. I'm going to put in a remote battery pack because originally they had a rechargeable battery mounted right there and it was just starting to corrode, so that's got to come off. So on my driver board, do my standard upgrades. Move this top clip up a hole so that I can put either the short fuse or a standard 3AG fuse in there. Tie these two test points together. Tie the main 12-volt filter cap to ground. Check all the header pins for crack solder joints, which there was a number of. So basically on these two test points I'm tying this one here, which is TP3, and this one here, which is TP1, those two ones together. Be careful not to touch TP5, that's 12 volts. These other two are 5. Before I power up for the first time, I move this connector and then check the test points over here, that one and that one, to make sure they're 5 volts. They were fine. Now I got the game in solenoid test, and I want to just point out a couple things. You'll notice that you'll hear this clicking, and the reason why you hear this clicking every once in a while is this thing right here, the solenoid expander. What that allows is the game to use. Here, you hear it click? As it's dropping the drop targets. And the reason that it's clicking is that it uses one transistor to power two devices. So that way, they kind of like System 11A. There it is again. Hear it click? Relay down there pulling in, and that allows them to use one transistor to control two devices. Burned up flipper coil, see how it melted inside the coil sleeve? That's because the end of stroke switch on the flipper wasn't adjusted properly, never turned off the high voltage or the high power side of the coil. It's real typical, but anyways, let's try a game. Yeah, you're supposed to get it in there for your skill shot, but basically it plays pretty good. It's not my favorite game, but it's a game, and it's working fine.